Nyctography, Episode 17. Everybody has to die sometime. The real murders that put GTA on trial. On the morning of June 7, 2003, in the small town of Fayette, Alabama, 18-year-old Devin Moore was brought into the local police station on suspicion of driving a stolen car. It should have been a routine booking. Officer Arnold Strickland and Officer James Crump were processing him. A civilian police employee, Leslie Mealer, was working nearby. Within minutes, Moore had grabbed one of the officer's service pistols. He shot Strickland. He shot Crump. He walked over to Mealer, who worked as a police dispatcher, and shot her too. All three died. Moore took a set of car keys off the counter, walked out, got into a police cruiser, and drove away. He was captured hours later in Mississippi. When officers took him into custody, Moore reportedly told them, "Life is a video game. Everybody's got to die sometime." That single sentence is the reason this case became something much bigger than a small-town tragedy. Investigators learned Moore had spent extensive time playing Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City, games that let players steal cars and in certain missions use violence against police. To some observers, Moore's own words afterwards sounded like an eerie echo of the exact mechanics of the games he'd been playing. To prosecutors, it was something else entirely. The words of a young man fully aware of what he'd done, reaching for the most convenient excuse available to him. Moore went to trial in 2005 on 3 counts of capital murder. His defense team argued he wasn't guilty by reason of mental defect, citing not just the video games, but a documented history of childhood abuse and what they described as resulting post-traumatic stress. The trial judge made a significant ruling before testimony even began. Jurors would not be allowed to hear direct testimony linking the shootings to the video games themselves. The video game argument, at least inside that specific courtroom, never really got its day in court. The jury deliberated for just over an hour. They convicted Moore on all 3 counts of capital murder. He was later sentenced to death and remains on death row at Holman Correctional Facility in Alabama today. The criminal case might have been the end of the story. Instead, it was really just the beginning of a second one. A civil lawsuit that would drag Rockstar Games, its parent company Take-Two Interactive, retailers Walmart and GameStop, and Sony as PlayStation's manufacturer into court for years afterward. The lawsuit was filed by attorney Jack Thompson, a well-known and controversial anti-violent media crusader on behalf of the victims' families. The argument was direct and aggressive, that Grand Theft Auto didn't just entertain Moore, it trained him. That the repetitive act of simulating car theft and violence against police officers functioned, in the lawsuit's own language, as a kind of rehearsal for the real thing. It also argued the games should never have reached a 16-year-old in the first place, given their mature rating restricting sales to people 17 and older. The case took years to work through Alabama's court system. In 2006, Alabama's Supreme Court declined to dismiss it outright, keeping a $600 million claim alive against the defendants for several more years. A genuinely significant legal moment, since it meant a real court was, at least procedurally, taking seriously the idea that a video game publisher could bear legal responsibility for a player's real-world violence. The case, formerly known as Strickland versus Sony, continued until 2010, when it was ultimately resolved without ever proving that direct causal link the family's attorneys had argued for. No court in the end has ever established that Grand Theft Auto caused Devin Moore to kill 3 people. What the courts consistently found instead, echoed by prosecutors, by the trial judge, and ultimately by how the civil case resolved, was that personal responsibility, not a piece of software, was what put a gun in Moore's hand that morning. But the cultural impact of the case never fully faded, even after the legal questions were settled. For years afterward, the Devin Moore case became a reference point in nearly every debate about violent video games and real-world violence. Cited in congressional testimony, op-eds, and industry rating debates that shaped how M-rated games are marketed and sold to this day. Every time a new Grand Theft Auto game gets announced, including the one you're probably here because you're excited about, some version of this same argument resurfaces somewhere in the public conversation, usually without anyone mentioning the three real names at the center of where it actually started. Arnold Strickland, James Crump, Leslie Mealer, three people who went to work on an ordinary morning in a small Alabama town and didn't come home. A real tragedy that got folded for years afterward into an argument about pixels and controllers that, in the end, never fully answered anyone's questions about why it actually happened. Next time, another file, another name worth remembering.